Last week in the comments, I had a question asking how I go about casting. And though I answered briefly, I thought it might be interesting to go into a bit more detail about how I do go about it. The first thing to say is that it depends a lot on funding, like most things. If you have a healthy budget and you can afford to hire a casting director, fantastic. Takes a load off your mind. And, I know, I have someone I consider a good friend who's a casting director in Italy. So if you're ever looking for someone in Italy, get in touch and I'll point you towards them. But the truth is, for indie filmmakers, and especially low budget indie filmmakers, or really low budget indie filmmakers, you just can't afford that. So you have to go about finding the cast however you can. For me, being an actor is incredibly helpful in that because I know lots of other actors. So when I have a project and I'm thinking about the cast, I think of the friends I know, the people I know, and whether they'd be suitable. And also being an actor, when you're working somewhere, it's kind of a cheap way of auditioning people because you get to see firstly how they are as an actor, but secondly also how they behave on set. The last thing you need on a low budget film or really low budget film is someone with an overinflated self of importance or just cantankerous and difficult to work with for no reason, or someone who can't be directed, or you get the idea. So as well as seeing if they're good actors, you get to see if they're good people to have on set. And if I'm working with them, I clock that, and I remember, I think, wow, so-and-so would be great to work with sometime in the future. And you remember that. And you also remember the people you don't want to work with in the future. So the first thing I do is think about actor friends, think about actors I've worked with before who I think would be good. And once I've gone through those and kind of worked out who may or may not work, then I look for actors on the various acting sites where actors register. And I just scroll through them myself. And I look at people I only look at people who have showreels. Because, as an indie filmmaker, you don't really have time to be, and I suspect as a casting director as well, or any producer or anyone, you need to see what the people can do. If you don't know them, you need to be able to make a judgment on them, whether you think, and it's just your opinion, whether you think they're a good actor or not, A, and B, whether you think they might be suitable for the role you're looking to cast. So a showreel is crucial. Even if you have one short scene, it's really, really helpful to be able to see you in action. So once I've done that, and I might have found some people, I contact them. I am very forthright about the status of funding or lack of status of funding, so they know upfront the lay of the land and see if they're interested. And if they are, they get back to me. And I often cast from there. If they're major roles, I'll probably want to, meet and have a coffee. Also, if they're major roles, I may well want to do some tests with the other major characters just to see that there's some chemistry and it's going to work out okay. But that depends on project to project. Some projects only have one or two characters in them, and some have a myriad of characters. So There may be a little, maybe a lot of that sort of screen testing. So once I have a cast, we may have a read through. I may meet with individual actors to discuss their characters. We may rehearse particularly difficult scenes. But the truth is that often with indie filmmaking, and especially low budget indie filmmaking, you just don't have the luxury of rehearsals. So you're sort of thrown right into production. You get in, you try and resolve any challenging things or any issues, and most actors are pretty forthright about things that aren't working in the script. Certainly actors with a bit of experience, because they know that it's not working for them, so they'll come back to me and say, look, this feels a bit odd, or why is a character doing this? And I like that. As much of that as we can get before filming, of course, is perfect. Because if they don't feel comfortable doing it, then there's probably an issue doing it. Probably an issue with the writing for that particular little bit. It may not be. It may just be challenging for them, but you've got to work through all that. For a brand new actor, I know, because I've been in this situation, you tend not to challenge anything. You just think, oh my God, I got a part, yeah. So it's only with a bit more experience that you start to question things. No matter how much time you put into auditioning, no matter how many read-throughs you have or rehearsals you have, or coffees you drink discussing the characters, you never really know until you're filming. And then sometimes you see an actor who just completely blows you away with their performance. I mean, you thought they were pretty good, you cast them, so you thought they were pretty good in auditioning and rehearsals and all the rest, but they've just far exceeded your expectations when you come to filming. And then there are others who, well, everything has a flip side, shall we say, who don't quite meet up to the potential you saw and the potential you saw in rehearsals and auditions. And if that's the case, then it's up to me to look at myself, because if I saw what they could do and it's not happening, then for some reason I'm not getting the performance out of them. So it's a time to look in the mirror for a director, I think. Another side benefit for me is that I'm an actor as well. So seeing how all these different actors work, it's really helpful for me to, maybe pick up some tips or learn some new ways of doing things. So that's during filming and during casting, auditions and all the rest. So it's an exciting time because everybody in making a film is important. But I think if you ask me honestly, what are the most important things? I would say the story, i.e. the script, and the storytellers, i.e. the actors. So working with the actors and the script is wonderful. Thanks for watching. It'd be great if you could like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you'd like to support further, you can buy me a coffee. There's a link in the description. I hope to see you in the next one.